Welcome back to another video. General MKHWANAZI takes down former SAPS employees and many people are asking for warrant of arrest. BHEKI CELE is in serious trouble and people are saying that at this point he might be on the run. Listen to General MKHWANAZI exposing Shadrach Sibia.
I know that there was this warning before he comes in. What becomes strange to me is that first he becomes a Major General at Detective Service. And a year later, he gets promoted. Now he's promoted to the heartbeat of the police, so he's no longer responsible for organized crime alone. He's now responsible for the entire investigation, including crime intelligence, including forensic. Well, the National Commission has got powers to appoint. It's just strange that the same organization dismissed this man. A year later, when he applies to court, the same organization doesn't appeal, doesn't file papers to oppose that court process, and the same organization brings him back and promotes him a year later. I don't know what he has done on his performance agreement that was so exceptional on this term when he comes back, despite this warning that justified this promotion to get into this position. But this is for me became the risk that the organization should have foreseen back then, and we find ourselves here with an individual who came into the organization with this questionable background. I must maybe speed up, Commissioner, and indicate that amongst of the things that which I will read into record, the things that he's been accused of in the city of Johannesburg as he comes in, amongst others was some procurement or some intelligence devices. Which I then find it strange because, well, before I read the terms of reference of the city of Johannesburg, because there's an inquiry currently that is ongoing in the city of Johannesburg that perhaps is not publicized.
What he said actually shows that he was being put there by the underworld. Even the National Commissioner might be held accountable at some point because this is really getting more broad. Now, on another shocking part, he was exposing former Minister of Police for interfering with the police works. Listen to what he said about BHEKI CELE.
Through it? Yeah, Commissioner, you might be confused with too many blocks and everything in that slide, but it is what, as we are investigating, that we're beginning to see that, and I want to concentrate myself on this slide on General CELE, the National Commissioner, and General Sibia. You will see at the bottom of General Sibia the lines that are connected to him that crime intelligence, detective service, and forensic service, they report directly to him. And we know that there is this connect of everything. General CELE lives, but what is also part of the investigation that we're picking up is that when the contract of 360 million rand was awarded to Mr. Matlala and the police, General CELE was the Minister of Police. I'm not saying that he had a role to play on that one, but I'm just saying it's something interesting to look at, because we see communication that the team will come and reflect on between the very same Mr. Matlala and General CELE, the communication as we have listed there, which dates back to December last year, 2024, how they've been communicating. So it's not only about the arrest of Matlala, there is communication prior to that, and further evidence that we picked up, exchange of monies and the likes. I guess Jaro Kumar will elaborate more on that when they come in with the investigation team. I don't want to get into it, but it's just interesting to know that Matlala and CELE have got a relationship and there's money exchanges between. And this is a man that was appointed in the police to be a health risk manager of the service. And the connection that we have put it here linked to General Sibia, in all directions, top, left, right, bottom, in all angles. And this becomes a worry because, as I said, this is a heartbeat of the organization. And when we are having the red flags on the left, which is the syndicate, 2 of them already in custody, we have others that we haven't mentioned. And we are having the ghost on the right, black and white, which include so-called experts out there that are spreading wrong information, so-called media journalists that are in there, many parties that you see there on the black, And going up top right corner, you see the entities of government, which will include IPET, IDEC, IGI, that are party to this chaos that we are seeing, and the engagement they're having with the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mkhunu now, Bran Mokhotsi in the Chief of Staff. So this picture is what comes to the fore, and it gets us worried that, and we begin to question, how did this man come into this organization? Could it be this? We ignore the warning from the city of Johannesburg, and we end up here today. So I'm going to leave it here, Commissioners, and move to the next item.
You indicated that other witnesses will come speak to this slide.
On the next one, General MKHWANAZI exposes multi-millions tender scandals in the SAPS, and they wanted to use Senzo Mkhunu, Vusicat, and Kingpin in Northwest wanted to use Senzo Mkhunu on these scandals. Listen to what General MKHWANAZI said.
All right, thank you, Commissioner.
No, sorry, my apologies. I think you are correct. 239. I misread the other 239.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank
Commissioners, business people, this information that I'm highlighting here, it's an extract from the communication between different people that are subject to the investigation by the GCI Ops. And some of these communications are coming from cell phones of the people that are already arrested. And some of them are coming from the people that, where the team is conducting cordon and searches and the likes, and they extract this information. And in some instances, they will probably get information from an approved download in terms of Section 205 of the Criminal Procedure to authorize the downloading or of the information from different service providers. So this will, of course, then be a direct communication between people, and in some instances, communication from the third party that is going to be presented. There is a gentleman, according to the records that we have, that the team will come presented. There is a gentleman, according to the records that we have, that the team will come and display further, that he's a businessman in Northwest, Mr. Suleiman Karim. Mr. Suleiman Karim, as a businessman in Northwest, maintains a direct communication with the arrested person, Vusmuz Ket Matlala. And in their communication, it involves the contract that Ket Matlala has with the police service, which was a 360 million rand contract I spoke about during the press briefing. And in this communication that the two of them are having, Matlala is approaching him to help him engage with the minister in order to stop the cancellation of his contract. And this Mr. Suleiman Karim, of course, commits to do that because he has this relationship with the minister. And as I say, I don't want to dive deeper into the other conversations or activities that are taking place in that communication between the two. However, the intention here to display is to show that there is this gentleman that is part of the movement of money and the coordinator between Mr. Matlala and the minister, and is part of the investigation. That's why I'm not going to go deeper into explaining how the movement of funds and the likes are happening. But it's just to flag him as an enabler to facilitate the interest of the minister as well as the relationship with Ket Matlala.
Okay.
On the following page 234, I'm just showing the extract.
Sorry, General, can I just ask for completeness of my understanding? And if you can't answer it for the reasons that you have given, please feel free to say that. Is Mr. Karim in any way involved in the contract? Is he part to the contract between Matlala and the SAPS?
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. You wanted to move on to paragraph 234, not page 234, paragraph 234, General.
Yes, paragraph 234. This is a communication between Mr. Vusmut Matlala and his business partner, Mr. Mike van Wyk. I must say here that we are not necessarily blaming Mr. van Wyk of anything, but we are just displaying the level that Kat Matlala has an interest of what's happening in the police, that he even communicates with his business partners. So the text that is extracted from Mr. Matlala's phone as he was communicating with Mr. van Wyk, it reads as follows. Breaking news. NPA ID guns for National Police Rock Unit. The NPA Investigative Directorate ID raids National Police Commissioner Fanny Masimula and National Crime Intelligence Head Lieutenant General Kumalo's office after serving them with notices of arrest. This comes after an investigation lodged by the Parliament Portfolio Committee. The National Police Commissioner General Masimula appeared weak and shaken when confronted by the ID. The ID had served him with arrest notice for 5 senior officers within Crime Intelligence Division, including its national head, General Kumalo. When serving the arrest notices, the National Commissioner asked the ID for indemnity from prosecution if he cooperates with them. An investigator states, the National Commissioner was very nervous and appeared to be shaking. He then blamed the collapse of crime intelligence at the hands of General Kumalo and KZN Provincial Commissioner MKHWANAZI developing. So this is just but one of the extracts. This is an article that was carried in media. Commissioners, you're going to understand later when you show you the picture that as part of the concerted effort to damage the reputation of this Gauteng counterintelligence investigation operation is to feed the media with false information so that they create doubt about the officials that are working within that investigation team. So they're a typical example of what Kat Matlala sends.
On the next one, General MKHWANAZI comments on how Sindiso Makaka's murderers were actually nailed and the people in the SAPS, how they were actually caught by someone in the crime intelligence. You guys will hear what General MKHWANAZI said, exactly how these people were nailed.
He's a professor that I've never met in my whole life, Professor Meriti Haas. This is in academia, a violence crime monitor, analyst in KZN. I expect the learned friends and people that are academians to do research. You do not write something that you did not research. But from what I see, what Meridias publishes most of the time, it's a one-sided story. You hear from a person who tells you the story, you don't investigate, you publish it. I'm going to cite an example, commissioners, as I'm closing on this. The case, the famous case of the murder of a politician at Mzimkhulu in KZN, Sindiso Makaka. General Kumalo at the time was a brigadier. I said when I presented here, General Kumalo used to work under Operational Response Division, coordinating operations. He only arrived at crime intelligence most recently, 2023, if I'm not mistaken. 2022, I think, end of 2022, 23. When these arrests happened back then, he was not anywhere close to crime intelligence. He was a brigadier. He's the one that was leading the team that cracked that investigation of Sindiso Makaka. He's the one that found that the firearm that was used in the murder of Sindiso Makaka and the vehicle that was used in the murder of Sindiso Makaka are the resources that came from crime intelligence. It's General Kumalo that found that. And it's him that caused about at least 30 police officers to be arrested that were part of this criminality that are happening in KZN involving the mayor of politicians and others. But when the professor receives something from Mr. Adams, that Mr. Adams flew from Cape Town to Durban in prison to go and collect it from an arrested person, and the arrested person makes a story that crime intelligence was behind this, therefore it's Khumalo. And they take that, they run with it. They have no clue. The person they're accusing is the same person that made this arrest, but we are accusing that person. Now, you'll expect that maybe from Mr. Adams and others, but you don't expect that from a professor. Professor should have said, yes, you're receiving me, so let me go and check and verify. Where was Khumalo on this day? When did he start at crime intelligence? What was his role? Who was part of crime intelligence when this thing came? You would have picked up that. So I don't know if she's in South Africa or she's not, but I'll be happy if the commission can invite Meriti Haas to come here. And many others. There are many other people that have got opinions that are making allegations against me in public. I invite them to come here, commissioners, and sit in this chair and present and give me an opportunity to come back and respond to allegations.
Thank you so much for watching. I was just giving you guys brief from MKHWANAZI's testimony at the Matlanga Commission. Make sure you subscribe for more interesting videos from my channel.